first time since 2019 in the Eastern Conference, we have a battle between the Charleston Battery and Indy 11 here tonight in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, brought to you by South Carolina Education Lottery from Patriots Point. Alongside Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us tonight on ESPN+. So look at the standings. Shows these two teams in very different positions. Indy trying to remain above the playoff line. Charleston hoping that last week's late drama can start something as they climb up the table.
And it's an opportunity for the Battery. You're at home in front of your home fans. Look for this opportunity to really gain the momentum. Like you said, Joe, the draw last time to keep climbing up that table. And if you're in the 11, an opportunity to right that ship. Hard time out against New Mexico at home. Opportunity here to keep climbing up that table and keep pushing the envelope, pushing higher into the playoff positioning.
Let's take a look at some of that drama from last week here for Charleston. You'll notice two goalkeepers in the picture. Shouldn't be that way, but Joe Kuzminski gets the goal last minute of stoppage time to secure a point.
And you can't make this things up. Obviously doing it on one end of the field, scoring a goal on the other. You can just see what it means to the boys. Goalkeeping, storybook stuff, unbelievable there from Kuzminski.
But they will have to do it without him tonight. Dan Kuzemka making his first start of the season.
And he needs to be really confident, Kuzmenska, in that back line and really have a lot of communications with his back four looking in front of him. Look for him to organize the players in front of him and ask, I have a clean sheet here tonight.
He's going to have to deal with Solomon Asante, signed in the last couple of months for Indy, has come on a couple of times as a sub. Tonight makes his first start with his new club.
And look, we know what he's all about, right? You can see there, two-time USL Championship MVP, scores all types of goals. Look for him to get on this right-hand side, score goals, give assists. If Indy 11 has a chance of walking out of here with a couple points, he's going to have a big say in that.
One team started the season slowly in Indy. They've found their way, and they're now above the playoff line. Charleston has had their issues early on. Can they mimic what Indy has done and find a turnaround tonight? We're here in a moment on ESPN+.
Hey Google, turn up the heat.
My dad was a Cuban refugee, and school wasn't really an option for him. He'd always encourage me and my sisters. He'd say, try different things, you know? If you want to be an artist, if you want to be a painter or musician, go for it. Because I received a South Carolina Education Lottery Scholarship, I didn't have to worry about the bulk of my tuition. And that's priceless.
This Charleston Battery broadcast is brought to you by South Carolina Education Lottery. Take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Bud Light. Connor Casey is, of course, the head coach of Charleston, but Chris Duval is in charge tonight as Connor Casey is in health and safety protocols himself. So Duval's lineup looks like this.
And it's a really interesting lineup, 4-3-3. You see Oduro, Booth, and Piggott right in the middle. Piggott's going to push up, really have that support system between Williams, Chicharro, and Holcomb. Obviously, Booth advance a bit more, and Oduro's going to be the one that's sitting in front of that back line. Keowan and St. Martin need to be extremely competitive because extremely tight, not giving Indy 11 any room to play.
On the other side, Mark Lowry's Indy team looks like this with Solomon Asante finally in the starting lineup.
And you're looking at the front six: Arteaga, Pino, Asante Brown, Aguilar, Law, players that are just so comfortable in their movement. Asante's going to work up and down on that right-hand side. Pino and Arteaga, they're foxes in the box, make their money inside that 18, and then Nicky Law, we know what he's about, just so clever in the movement that he picks up between lines. Look for him to get on the ball. Obviously, Sam Brown in that middle of the park is going to be really dictating tempo for Mark Lowry and in the 11.
And we are just about ready to kick things off here at Patriots Point. It'll be Indy in the white from left to right, and Charleston in their yellow and black from right to left. Chris Ruska, the referee, in charge of this one. Teams meeting for the first time since 2019. And we're underway at Patriots Point. Here's Asante's first touch of the ball. It won't be his last as this game goes along. They want to get the ball to his feet as often as possible. Mark Lowry, talk to you about it, Ricky. What Solomon Asante means, not only on the field for games, but on the training ground. They're doing drills, they're simulating late game situations. Coach says 20 seconds left, and he's running around like a madman.
And it just shows you that the standard that he has for himself personally, just what he brings to not only a locker room, but obviously demanding the best out of every single player, the coaching staff around him. He's just been nothing but success in this USL Championship. So look for that to keep carrying on, really have that infectious impact for Indy 11 here, especially on this right-hand side. Needs to get on the ball early and often, ask all sorts of questions of Charleston and their back line.
Over the top here toward Williams, and it's guided along by A.J. Cochran, and now into the hands of Brian Meredith, making his first start for Indy. On the other side, Dan Kuzemka making his first start for Charleston. So two goalkeepers making their season debuts this evening. Meredith comes in on loan from Nashville. Elliot Panico was here on loan from Nashville for Indy. They recalled him and sent Meredith back in an exchange. Well read on the back end, and there's Meredith. We'll take a look tonight at the keys to the game, brought to you by Gildan, a leader in high-quality, comfortable apparel basics, located right here in the Low Country.
And you see Charleston Battery keep building from their performances. Obviously, having that tie last time out has to have some confidence within the boys and clean up the final third for Indy 11. Mark Lowry just wants the players to get in, commit a lot of numbers forward. Obviously, he said against New Mexico, they played extremely well, just missing that final third action.
Booth, back for Weber. Charleston saw some signs in their game last week that were more positive as they built through the lines a bit more, saw more of the ball. At times this year, they felt that some of their defensive woes have been tied to the fact that they just haven't seen enough of the ball. Here's Booth. Weber drives it toward the back post, and it's fingertips from Meredith just to get it away from the streaking Mario Piggott. Making a deflection into the hands now of Meredith. Early good flurry from Charleston.
And it's good discipline, patient build-up here as Booth has a perfect time. He just rolls this ball into Weber's preferred left foot. Dicing delicious ball in from Weber. Give credit to Meredith. Get to Bear Claw. Takes it away from danger. But if you're Charleston Battery, Connor Casey, Chris Duvall, you're going to be extremely happy with the confidence within the team 4 minutes in here.
All the way back again for Meredith. And with that, we'll take a look at the injury report brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. Mentioned that the goalkeeper was in question for Charleston, no Kuzmensky. Still a few others that are trying to work their way back as the injury bug has bitten them the hardest this season, maybe of any team around the league. And a trio out for Indy. A couple of players missing for Indy on international duty as well, but Mark Lowry not too concerned about it. Mentioned that he's really confident this current roster has about 15 or 16 guys he can count on to be starters. So just because a couple of them are missing injured or international duty, it weakens the depth as far as his subs later in the game, but it doesn't weaken the 11 because that pool of 15 to 16 is now whittled down to 11 or 12.
I think there's so much talent for Indy 11. Obviously, like Coach Lowry said, coming from El Paso, really excited about taking this job. Like you alluded to, Joe, just the depth, understanding the talent that he has on his roster, and he understands there's an opportunity for players to go out on international doing, really show the likes of Indy 11. The next man up mentality is something that we've known to come and love from Mark Lowry.
Piggott over to Sheldon, in toward Williams. Here's a chance, saved by Meredith. Flag stayed down. It seemed like the back line of Indy was expecting it to pop up, and it never did.
And he finds himself in a nice little pocket between Jerome and Cochran and that back line. Williams, good pick out with this head up. Sheldon, a player that loves to put in dicing balls. Good effort there. Unable to find a corner. Give credit to Meredith. Stays big, doesn't give any angle. Good first early chance for the striker Williams.
He's got 2 goals on the season. Maybe should have had a third.
And just needs a bit more composure there in that final third. Good, clean first touch. Wants to put it to a corner. He's going to be disappointed. He doesn't find his name on the score sheet so early in this match. But again, good signs as the outside backs coming in for this Charleston Battery side.
Wide again for Sheldon. Booth. Back for Sheldon. Kristen Kilwine in the middle. Playing alongside Brett St. Martin. Mark Lowry was very quick to point out that his Indy side could not take this game lightly. They've watched the last few matches that Charleston has played. He said they don't really do much wrong at times. They look really organized. They'll have momentary lapses which lead to goals, and they've maybe had some struggles with dealing with momentum where 1 goal then becomes 2 goals against. Outside of that, feels they do a really good job of keeping organized. They're dangerous up top, and if you're not careful, they can peg you for 3 points.
And it's just so important to get that first goal.
Might it be here? Asante almost slotted it through for a streaking Arteaga.
Just see the movement in the final third for Indy 11. That's so good. Asante starts on this right-hand side, comes into the pocket. Good insert ball there from Nicky Law. And you can just see the running off the ball, which is a nightmare to defend. So if you're Kilwine, St. Martin in that back line of Charleston Battery, you have to have a lot of communication, organization skills, pass players on, knowing where Pino, Arteaga are at all times. Those are the 2 danger men from Mark Lowry and this Indy 11 side.
Asante pressures. And they win it back. Ricky, what does it do to see somebody like Solomon Asante enter your side from a game perspective, but also from a training ground perspective, where you have a veteran who's just running around, kind of stoking the flames and bringing everybody up a couple of notches?
Well, it's just infectious, right? Like, you see a guy that's had so much success in this USL Championship, putting in the effort on both sides of the ball. The way that Mark Lowry really described it to us as they were down a goal, a couple seconds left, a couple minutes left in their training game, and he was just running nonstop, screaming, willing his team, trying to get that win, and that's only in training. So that's just gonna bring all the players, have them demand the best out of themselves, out of each other, just raise the level. Such a true professional he is. And it only does good to bring in a player like that mid-season here.
Aguilera. Arteaga tees it up, and the first save that Dan Kuzemka had to make.
And you love to see this from your striker. Just sees a little bit of space. No one really closes him down. Just gets the ball out of his feet. Clean strike. Just unlucky enough right at Kuzemka there. But a player that has the quality to score from that distance, as we've seen in the past. So goal scorer, always has a nose for goal.
They'd like to score more. Which team wouldn't? But they particularly would like to score more. They felt they've defended really well. You take a look at the goal scoring, there's matches in which they're leaving goals, and as a result of that, points on the table. The last match, that was a loss against New Mexico, was one that really stood out to Mark Lowry. The metrics they use to track expected goals for their teams and teams they're scouting, no team had held New Mexico to a lower goal differential, expected goals than 0.13, which is what they held them to last week and still lost the match 2-1. So felt they played well, sound defensively, unlucky a bit, but it comes back to not converting enough of their chances in a game like that.
And then it just comes down to individual mistakes. Trying to play out of the back, someone takes her eye off the ball ends up in the back of the net. Obviously, those things do happen in football. Not very often, just so unlucky not to walk away with there at least a point, the way that they performed. And it's an opportunity here to bounce back. You're at home. You never want to lose when you're at home in front of your home fans. So go on the road here at Charleston. You know they're going to be motivated, hungry, and doing extremely well to weather their storm in this first 12 minutes here.
Zemka plays it all the way through for Holcomb, has Booth on the left wing. Aduro, the linchpin in that midfield for the Battery. Clears it out wide for Sheldon, played centrally. And it's Cochran meeting it again. Williams with the game's best chance in the early going. Offensively, Chris Duval, acting head coach today, felt they were better last week against Loudoun, generating more quality chances. The quantity's been there at times this year, quality hasn't. A lot of positive things to build on from last week. Felt that their build-up play got them in more dangerous areas. Just a matter of converting some of the chances. And you look at their stats this season, they only got 7 goals. 2 for Apodaca, 2 for Williams, 2 for Sachero, and then 1 for your goalkeeper. That one into the hands of Meredith.
You're never going to get used to that, hearing a goalkeeper on the stat sheet for goals. You love to see it. One thing you're looking at the Charleston Battery side, great ball there from Asante.
Pino, rather Arteaga's shot saved by Kuzemka.
Looking at this Charleston Battery side, something that really just comes to the eye, that really sticks out to me already 12 minutes in, is just the numbers that they attack with. We see here 3 numbers in the attacking third, whether it's Booth, Williams, Chichero, Holcomb, whatever it may be, just a combination play has been far better.
Here's Holcomb. Back for Williams. Some more patience in their attack as well. Looking for better opportunities rather than the sheer number of them. Earlier in this season, they might have forced that one as soon as it was into the box there with Holcomb, and Williams would have tried to look up, go for a goal. They might have gotten it toward Meredith, but it wouldn't have been too dangerous. And here they recycle it and still try to find a way through.
You see just the balance in the midfield as well, opening up gaps. Booth pushes up a bit higher. Maduro sits in front of that back line, really the ball winner to dictate tempo, and Pickett has the freedom to really roam, see where he sees fit.
Battery matches are the perfect place to make lifelong memories with your friends and family. Your group of 10 or more can enjoy discounted tickets, exclusive on-field experiences, and private hospitality areas to catch the match. Visit charlestonbattery.com to learn more and plan one memorable night at Patriots Point. Here's Pino. He leads the way with 5 goals and 2 assists this season for Indy. 31-year-old Brazilian returned to the United States in 2021 with Austin Bold. Only 1 goal, 1 assist in 25 appearances. He spent plenty of time abroad: Brazil, Finland, Thailand, China, Saudi Arabia. Also plenty of time here in NASL with Fort Lauderdale, Minnesota, Miami. Off to a terrific start this season for Indy, bringing in someone like Asante. Not only gives you the boost of having Asante, but then he starts opening things up now for Pino to do more, for Arteaga to do more. And it's just a really strong trickle-down effect.
Yeah, exactly. When you bring a player like Asante, he requires just so much attention. Good run here.
Holcomb, Meredith confident off the line, heads it away.
And again, it's just more fluid for the Battery in the attacking third. The movement has been a lot better. This man has gotten on the ball a lot more often. Booth picking up the spaces, breaking lines. Such a clever player that has a vision to put on balls like we just saw. Unable to get on the end of it, Holcomb is, but the understanding between those front three, Shachero, Williams, Holcomb, you have a player like Booth underneath. Really good spacing and discipline here from the Charleston Battery so far.
Quarter of an hour gone from Patriots Point with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa, happy to have you with us on ESPN+. First meeting since 2019 between these two clubs. And in September of 2019, it was a 1-0 win for Charleston on this field. Those teams actually split a win each that season. 1-0 win for Indy at home, 1-0 win for Charleston at home. Holcomb finds space. Holcomb closing in. Holcomb, it's deflected. AJ Cochran, that's a handful of times already. He's been the last line of defense and saved what could have been a goal.
And a strong suit of Preston Kilwine is able to hit a ball on a rope. Terrific technique on that left foot of his. Just picks his head up, puts his ball on a dime from Holcomb, and Holcomb gets a better body position of Ingram. If you're a defender, you have to get on that ball. But give credit to Cochran, comes across, puts out this fire. Never know where that's going to end up. Expected going for that far post. I think it has Meredith beat. But give credit to number 3 in white. Good positioning, last-ditch defending there.
Chris Duval has to be very happy with what he's seen so far. Filling in again for Connor Casey in the health and safety protocol for Charleston. So Chris Duval tabbed as the head coach for the day. Played centrally, punched away by Kuzemka. Asante was lurking at the back post. And a foul called. Justin Ingram, a little bit too overeager.
And the next step for this Charleston Battery side is you're getting really good positionings, dangerous opportunities. Now you have to make them count. That's twice. Williams has a clear shot right, probably about 8 yards out. Hits it straight at Meredith. And then you have the likes of Holcomb coming around the corner. Doesn't get a clean shot on goal. Those are opportunities again. It's a great ball here from Kilwine.
Just out of the reach of Mario Piggott. Took the number 10 jersey from Zico Lewis, who departed in the offseason. 4 goals, 2 assists for Piggott last year. He's one of the names who's been in and out of the injury report this season for Charleston. It's made it difficult for him to find his way. Today, just his 4th start of the season. And Sheldon whistled for the foul.
It's a bit of skill here from Pino. Just sees the door open. Cheeky little nutmeg there. Sheldon comes in from behind, picks up a yellow card. Needs to be extremely careful now, Sheldon. Never want to see a right back getting in the book. 19 minutes in, needs to be extremely disciplined in his defensive efforts. There's no ill will there, but he gets beat and he knows it.
Yellow card brought to you by Spink's Convenience Store, located across South Carolina. So Sheldon, the captain, has to be careful now for the next 70 minutes. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of USL Championship. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select, League's Choice, Player's Choice. Shaq Jerome pinches forward and wins it back for Indy. Jerome, one of those players that Lowry brought over from El Paso. Spent 3 years there. Here's Asante, plays it through. What a ball that is, and it's in. Flag stays down. Asante the assist. Pino finds his 6th goal of the season.
You just see how explosive this Indy 11 side is with the likes of Asante on this right-hand side. Good pick out with his head up. Aguilera just sees the space. It's a bit unorthodox there from Asante. Catches Kumenska off his line. Thought he was going to go for the chip. Talk about vision. No one sees it coming into the path of Pino. Striker, your job is to be put into dangerous situations. And it's a fairly straightforward finish for number 29 to get his 6th on the year. Terrific start for that man right there. And Mark Lowry 1-0 up on the road.
He's played 39 minutes so far for Indy coming into today. Solomon Asante, both times off the bench. Already an assist in those 39 minutes, and now he has a 2nd. And Pino pacing the group with 6 goals. The next closest is Fjellberg with 2 goals. Not available today.
At first, I thought Asante mishit it. Goes with the left foot. Thought he was trying to maybe just put it around Kuzemka or go over him. He knew what he was doing the whole time. A player that has so much quality. Exactly. So much quality. That should know better. But terrific vision there from the ex-Phoenix Rising man.
At the back post, flag came up. Thought it seemed odd that a number of the players stopped playing. Only a couple realized the flag was up, the rest didn't. That's Mark Lowry. If he would have signed up for 17 points through 11 games, knowing that it was going to be an undertaking. 17 new players on the roster, whole new staff. He's in for his first season. Wasn't going to be easy. And he said, look, we want to win every game, but he'd be lying if he said he wasn't pleased with it to begin this season. They knew coming in it was going to be difficult. If they could pick up points while developing, it would be crucial to make sure you don't dig yourself a hole beneath that playoff line and forget digging themselves a hole through the first 11 games. They're above that playoff line, so in a terrific spot. And now Asante comes in, but Asante is a concern right now, holding his right leg. The newest and nicest airline to take the skies is proud to call Charleston home and support the Battery. Check out Breeze Airways today for an accessible and genuinely nice experience for everyone, with flights to over 20 destinations across the U.S. nonstop, right from Charleston International Airport, while offering low fares and flexible booking on their point-to-point network. That's Breeze Airways. That's seriously nice. Another chance brewing here for Indy. That's what Mark Lowry highlighted as a possible issue for Charleston. They're susceptible to giving up multiple goals in rapid succession. They won't get one here, but they have to be careful the next few minutes. It's been an issue this season. They let one bleed into another instead of snapping right back into it.
And you don't want the floodgates to open. So you look at the leaders in this group. And we see Sheldon has the armband. Kilwine, St. Martin, Weber starts with that back line. To really have those players in front of them extremely organized, don't have any gaps for Indy 11 to play through. Just see the tempo has really changed as Indy 11 has really got their footing. This last couple of minutes, getting more on the ball in their attacking half, really disciplined in their possession base, pulling the ball from left to right. finding those places to penetrate, and a lot of movement in that final third.
Nicky Law finds Arteaga. And here's Law again. Jerome. Looking for Asante. Able to save it. Asante plays it first time. Law. Arteaga on the turn. Arteaga back to his right foot. That's brilliant. A couple of touches to find the space. And it's 2-0 Indy.
And it starts with the effort of Asante keeping this ball in. Having the tactical whereabouts just to hit this one time into a dangerous area. Good understanding between Nicky Law and Arteaga on this left-hand side. Little combination playing the side of the box, and then it's just pure class here from Arteaga, and this is the effort that I'm talking about. Little peek over his right shoulder into that back post. Give credit to Nicky Law to come arrive late, pick his head up, and then this, you just can't teach us. Takes his defenders for a dance. Cool, calm, composed finish. Nothing that Charleston Battery can do. Too much class there for a player of that standard. Arteaga, well taken goal. Striker's finish to that far post. 2-0 with the man in white.
He was the team's leading goal scorer last year with 10. That is his first of this season. As a striker, you see one go in, then you start seeing 2, 3, 4, and 5 go in. Asante won't get credit for an assist on that one, but it's all because of him. So that's just an example of what Asante could do to help maybe unlock Arteaga now, who until that moment still was looking for that first goal.
And it just starts with the lack of pressing in that middle of the field from the Charleston Battery. Like you said, it's been an effect that's gone on throughout this whole season. They let goals in bunches, not only one becomes two becomes three. It needs to have time when our player really stands up and says, this isn't good enough from us. The players that have known how to win in this league, that have the experience in this Steel Cell Championship, how to deal with adversity. So who's it going to be for Connor Casey? Who's going to take that leadership role? We take the demand just to say we need better from every single one of the players to be turned on at all times. It's far too easy for Indy 11 at the moment.
Can they find a response here? Played to Holcomb. Holcomb stumbles for a second. And there goes a chance for Charleston. Holcomb has been a bright spot. He's found soft spots on the left side of this defensive shape for Indy. Pino holding off defenders, plays it across. 3 for Indy in the span of 7 minutes. It's the second one now for Arteaga.
Clinical. One word from that man right there. Clinical finisher. Give credit to Pino. So opportunistic. St. Martin doesn't deal with this ball as well as he should. Misjudges it, but Pino's there to fight him off, to have the composure, the skill. Just put this ball in the path of Arteaga and say, go get it. Do what you do. Opens up his hips, finds that far post. There's nothing Kuzanka can do. 3-0 in the matter of a blink of the eye for Indy 11. Talk about the confidence when a striker is confident. It is a scary thing. Great take there from Arteaga to get his brace on the day.
He's back. 10 last year to lead the way. He's got 2 now in the span of a few minutes, and you got to watch out.
And again, it's just little things like that that keep hurting the Charleston Battery. Like you said, Joe, Holcomb has been a bright spot. When you look back at those efforts between him and Williams, and those balls end up in the back of the net, this game looks completely different. Obviously, 1 goal, misplay there from St. Martin. You turn your head, now it's 3-0. Just shows the quality in this USL Championship, the margin of error is just so thin. You have to be on your game at all times.
Sheldon guided out for a corner kick. And this is where, if you're Charleston, you have to make things count. You're down 3. Every set piece just about that you have from here on out needs to yield a scoring opportunity.
Let's hear you make some noise, fans. It's a corner kick coming up for your Charleston Battery.
Piggott. Just too easy to defend off the corner for Indy. You have to tip your cap to Mark Lowry and Indy for the way they scouted this Charleston team. Ricky, like I mentioned earlier, you asked the question, what do you see out of this Charleston team? Where can you exploit them? Here's another chance for Pino. Kuzemka there. But the one thing he said, they're organized, they're tough to break down, but when you do, they're susceptible to hanging their heads and letting 1 become 2, become 3, and they have capitalized on that, Indy, in a big way.
The game just opens up after that first goal from Pino. Just see the gaps are opening between the lines. When you look at the last 2 goals have just come from balls over the top. One St. Martin wishes he could do better if he has it back. Obviously reads the bounce of the ball a bit better. Asante, ball over the top. Weber doesn't deal with it. His positioning is a bit too narrow. It's just individual mistakes going back to it. There's an opportunity here to grow. It's really, you're playing in front of your home fans. Have a bit of pride, show a bit of character, fight for yourself, fight for your organization. And prove to the coaching staff that they're able to depend on you when things go tough. Don't go your way. It's been a hard start of the season for Charleston Battery. But it's always an opportunity to prove yourself, your worth, when you put on the jersey for this organization.
Better from Charleston. All the way back again for Kuzemka. Spent 3 years at Clemson before transferring over to UNC Charlotte. Only had a handful of appearances in his time at Clemson, which prompted the transfer, and then became the regular starter at UNC Charlotte. Preseason trial has started against Charlotte FC in the Carolina Challenge Cup, and then stuck ever since then as the backup for Kuzmenski. Don't miss one of the biggest parties of the summer at Patriots Point as the Battery celebrate Pride Night Saturday, June 11th, and take on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. The club will be highlighting diversity and inclusivity in the Low Country and supporting Charleston Pride and We Are Family with a player's signed Pride jersey, auction, and more. Get your tickets online via SeatGeek now and save up to $10 per ticket when you buy in advance. Visit tickets.charlestonbattery.com to come get yours today. Here's Booth. Has Williams making the run near the penalty mark. Sends it that way. Too strong. Each time Williams has picked out a pocket of space in the attack, Charleston has tried to get it to him. It's just been lacking that final ball to actually drop it into his feet or on his head.
And his movement has been extremely good, Williams. Just lives and die on a service as the service you receive as a striker, life as a striker. He needs to clean up that final act. The players underneath him to find him in the right opportunities. See again.
There he is on cue. They found him this time, and Charleston pulls one back.
And it's much like that first half opportunity that he hit straight at Meredith. This one is a bit better. Ball in from Weber over the top to Sheldon. Has his head up on a swivel at all times. The delicious ball in from the right back. And you can just see Williams busting his backside to get between the center back in front of that goalkeeper, and then it's a class finish. Doesn't need to put any power on it. Just redirect it to the far corner. You can see beautiful look here. Composed finish there from number 9. Terrific from the striker to get the first goal on the board here for Charleston Battery.
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
That goal brought to you by Diamonds Direct. It's his 3rd of the season, leading the way for the Battery.
And it's not the first time that Williams has found that spot between the center backs up in the 11. Really good in his movement, really clever in the space that he picks up. It's an opportunity here to see if the Charleston Battery can really ride this wave going into the half. See they're able to grab another one. Will do a world of good. See the energy shift again for the Charleston Battery side, the confidence. Now they see one ball hit the back of the net. See if you can get the second one, and then you're in this game once again.
Asante. Get offline. You're not going to get this Charleston team to throw in the towel, whether that's on the season where they're 1-8-2 or in a game where they're down 3-0. They have this why not us mentality about them, and it stems from Connor Casey's past when he took over as the interim head coach that one season in MLS with Colorado Rapids. They were 0-7-2, and they made the playoffs from that spot. So 0-7-2, similar enough to 1-8-2 at this point, and they know it's still there for the taking. You have to go on a run. You've lost all safety net. You look to last year, the Oakland Roots were in a similar spot, similar record, and still made the playoffs. It can be done. It's going to take all that they have, and they're going to need to maybe look outside and bring people in over the summer. Connor Casey mentioned that they're always looking to bolster a roster. They knew that coming in. They're not going to throw in the towel in the season. They're not going to throw the towel in on a game when they're down 3-0. But they might be in danger again here. Aguilera back to Asante, lays it off. That is a first half hat trick for Arteaga.
Far too easy for Indy 11 at this point. A two-man combination play. Starts in the middle of the field. Asante picks up this ball. The movement of Aguilera. A little around the corner. 1-2 once again. Back. Tell you what, that first touch for Asante is a bit heavy, but he's quick enough just to put this in the path, and then it's that man again. Composed finish. There's nothing that Kumenska can do. That's 3 goals and a half, Joe. It's a hat trick. That's impressive.
He had 0 coming into the day. He'll have 3 at least by the time they go into halftime.
And once you get him going, you know, the likes of Pino, Asante, it is a scary front line now for Indy 11. As they get going, the confidence keeps growing throughout this 2022 season for Mark Lowry.
First goal, assist from Asante. The next goal, doesn't get the assist officially, but he started the play up the right side. 4th goal, assist to Asante. It's his first start, it's his 3rd appearance. He's played a grand total of 68 minutes on the season, and he has 3 assists already for Indy 11. USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud project. USL strives to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/foreverproud. Asante comes in a few weeks ago. They went through a lot to make sure everything was clear. They could get him back here and he could suit up. Finally, that process reaches its conclusion. He gets into the lineup. 54 goals, 43 assists previously in all competitions, regular season and postseason. Only player in league history that is a member of the 40-40 club with 40 goals and 40 assists. And now he already has 3 assists in as many appearances for Indy. Still waiting on his 50th regular season goal, though. That's the one thing, if you're going to complain about who has become a legend in the league, if there's one thing you could say, it's that he's in quite the goal-scoring drought right now. He's been sitting on 49 regular season goals since July 17th, 2021. So if he can break that spell, then maybe the dam bursts open and the goals and assists start flowing. But right now, you at least know he's going to create. He's got 2 assists tonight. I think it got to a point last year where some of the history was weighing on him. He had about 9 games, I believe it was. Once he got to 49, he had 9 games in which he could have gotten that 50th. That would have made him the fastest to 50 in USL Championship history. Toyed with him a little bit potentially mentally, and it just didn't seem right after that. Ended up going the rest of the way with that one in the regular season. Scored one in the playoffs in that thriller against RGV that went to penalties. But if he keeps playing like we've seen in the first 40 minutes here, it's only a matter of time before that goal comes.
Fans Vintage Coffee Cafe is the official coffee provider of the Charleston Battery. Stop by their
Williams slots it through looking for Holcomb.
With an inspired collection of coffee and beverages, plus a full menu of breakfast and lunch items every day.
One thing that's going to make Mark Lowry smile, aside, of course, from the goals, you talk about last game against New Mexico and in some of the games earlier this season where they've struggled, hasn't been happy with their finishing in the final third and the chances they've created. They have 7 shots. All 7 of their shots tonight are on target. A 100% shot accuracy, and 4 of the 7 have gone in. So I think he'll be very happy with the response in terms of their ability to finish and connect in the final third.
Well, he was just very honest and really upfront with us in a conversation. I said, what did you not like? What do you think you need to work on going into this match? And he said, we just need to get numbers into that final third. There's moments in time when we're crossing the ball. There's only 1 person in the box. You can't score with only 1 person in the box. You need to commit, get numbers in dangerous situations, dangerous positions, and just have that killer instinct, that killer mentality. Take no prisoners inside that 18-yard box. Really clean up that efficiency in that final third. And I'll tell you what, like you said, 7 shots, 7 on target. Doesn't get much better than that.
In that same conversation, one of the quotes that stuck out to me, he said, we're limiting teams' opportunities to score and create while we're finding our own opportunities to score and create. To me, that's more important than possession numbers. And you look at the possession numbers for tonight, they're down near 40%. It doesn't matter because he's limiting the opposition's chances. They're generating their own chances. And they've got 4 on the board.
Also, yellow card was issued to Indy.
You just think on the other side of the ball for Charleston Battery.
Yellow card brought to you by
I went back to it once, I'll go back to it again. If Williams tucks in that first chance that he has in the back of the net, this game is completely different. You come down the other way. Holcomb has a great opportunity here, cuts in on this left-hand side to his preferred right foot. Give credit to Cochran, who he plays the way that he defended that potentially second goal for Indy 11, for Charleston Battery, excuse me. And now we look at the score now, 4-1. What could have been, it's been kind of the story for Charleston Battery the first half of this season.
Williams. Booth taken down a bit harshly by Sam Brown. And he'll be shown a yellow card. Already the 4th Spinks yellow card issued tonight.
Yellow card in the 45th minute.
It's a bit of a reckless challenge here from Brown. Booth really has nowhere to go. He comes in, has that second leg trailing that catches Booth. Never want to see getting a yellow. No need for it. He needs to be extremely careful now not to pick up a second when everything has been going very smooth for your boys.
Williams in the middle for Holcomb. It's blocked again by who else? Cochran coming back again. Two minutes of stoppage time brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. You're just talking about it before, Ricky. The block earlier from Cochran. He does it again. He is not letting anything through right now.
It has to be a cause of concern for Mark Lowry as well, as Jerome has been caught out of possession a couple times, pushing too far to the right next to Ingram. Just one pass from Williams breaks that right side of Mark Lowry's defense, but give credit again for AJ Cochran, just his positioning, understanding there is danger to come across and put the fire out. That's a second last-ditch defending effort for the center back in white.
Here's Asante, taken down harshly from behind. Piggott shown a yellow.
Unable to get to this ball at the first glance. Piggott just cuts from behind. A swooping left foot catches the end of Asante. Bit of frustration there. I'll tell you what, if you're Mark Lowry, that's something you do not want to see. Your main man coming down injured on the floor. You just see the frustration there from number 10, black and yellow.
Asante's teammates not very happy with the way that played out. You wonder if, with the nature of that challenge, since it was from behind, I'm not saying I agree with this, but some of his teammates wanted to see a red card there.
No, I don't think it's enough for a red, but it is a bit reckless. Never want to see that. There's no need for that challenge. The ball is gone.
Does the magic spray work?
I knew that was coming. Hey, he's walking now, so obviously it does, right?
Touche. I'll give you that.
Some nice looking boots, though. I don't fancy those.
Next Wednesday, we'll play some pickup. You're going to walk out with those?
I'm a Puma guy.
Jerome serves it up. Glance at the watch from Chris Ruska. 2 minutes of stoppage time have come and gone, but most of those 2 minutes were spent with Asante receiving medical attention. We'll see when that final whistle does come. Either way, it's going to be quite the chat, I'd imagine, in the locker room right now for Charleston. Down 4-1. Chance here on this long throw, perhaps, for Indy to make it 5. And that'll do it for half number 1. A blitz from Indy. 3 goals in the span of 7 minutes. And then they put a 4th one in just 2 minutes after Charleston pulled one back.
There's going to be frustration for Charleston Battery. They had chances to go up 2-0 early in that first half. Then the floodgates open. That man right there is feeling himself. First half trick You can see the smiles for Indy 11. If you're Coach Lowry, you want to do the same. Use this game to really get the confidence within players. Obviously, does a world of good for Arteaga. Hasn't scored yet this season. Walks into halftime with 3 goals on his name. So keep doing that. But obviously, it's going to be interesting to see as they shut down that defensive unit, not to give up another goal for Charleston Battery. You have to get on the ball a bit more, moving the ball from left to right. Play yourself into this game 1 goal at a time. All to play for in this next 45, and really looking forward to it.
Indy, after a 4-game win streak, ended up losing 2 of their next 3. It seems like they're on their way to getting back on track. 4 first-half goals, 3 for Arteaga, a pair of assists for Solomon Asante. It's all Indy 11, 4-1 right now on the road over Charleston Battery. We're back in just a few moments here on ESPN+.
Hey Google, turn up the heat.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete, you're obsessed, you're in love, you're in pain, spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity, because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat. You're not alone. You're supported, pushed, tested, tried, trued, broken, fixed, and put back on track to do it all again. Your road is long, on open highway, completely secluded, jammed with traffic, horns blaring, sirens screaming, speed limit, near misses, head-on collisions, body shops, rest stops, so many tolls to pay. Your destination isn't a place, it's a record, a dance, a feeling. Hands in the air, stands on their feet, joy all around. Because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health, Sports Medicine.
Miranda is a native of Goose Creek and currently a cadet at the Citadel. In part, thanks to a lottery.
Back here at Patriots Point, it's 4-1 Indy at the half. And with that, we'll take a look at the upcoming schedules for both teams. So far, it's been a rough go of it for Charleston this season. And looking ahead, trying to start finding places where they can maybe pick up some points. And it's not a really easy stretch coming up for this team. As we take a look, they're home against Pittsburgh near the top of the conference. And then at Tampa Bay, Tulsa, maybe a winnable one there against Atlanta. But it's looking tough then again on the road against San Antonio. It's a really difficult stretch right now for the Battery.
And those schedule makers are not doing the Charleston Battery any favors. Obviously, like you named off those teams, a lot of talent on that roster there. You're at FC Tulsa against Atlanta United. That needs to be 3 points. But it's obviously an opportunity here to test yourself and your boys. You want to be the best, you have to beat the best. One opportunity is to go against some of the top teams. Obviously, you go to the West and San Antonio FC. So much talent for the Charleston Battery in their upcoming schedule.
Now on the other side for Indy, as I mentioned before we went to break, a 4-game winning streak followed by losing 2 of the next 3, and they seem to be on their way to a win tonight. Doesn't get easy for them either. Miami, Colorado Springs, San Diego all on the road, and then Pittsburgh on the road. How about that? 4 of your next 5 on the road, and look at the names you're facing there.
Yeah, at Miami, at Colorado Springs, at the Loyal. Whoa, for Mark Lowry. But in the way that they're playing right now, they're going to go up against anyone. They're going to be full of confidence. And you have Miami at home, and you go to Pittsburgh. Again, it's so much talent in this USL Championship, especially on this Eastern Conference. No easy out. And I'm looking at the Colorado Springs game. That's going to be an exciting one.
They looked terrific against Vegas the other night. And this Indy team for Mark Lowry, he told us we'd be happy with 6 points from this 4-game road trip. They seem to be on their way to 3. Where else on the upcoming schedule can they pick up some more? We're back in just a few moments here on the Halftime Report. Indy 4, Charleston 1.
10 years in the making, a dream start for City.
Maxi Rodriguez, what a stop by Steinwasser. And it's into the back of the net. El Paso.
Far corner and it's in. What a goal. Are you watching Football Americas?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
Indy 4, Charleston 1 through the first 45 here at Patriots Point. And with that, we'll take a broader look around USL Championship with some news and notes as we get into the summer here. Calendar this past week turned from May to June. It is Pride Month. You can learn more at that link there on your screen. And with June comes a whole host of international call-ups for players across the league. And it was a nearly perfect month of May for New Mexico, 3-0-2. As they climb the Western Conference standings. And as we look around the league with some scores, it was a busy midweek of action. We had games on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week leading up to the weekend, and it started with plenty of drama on Wednesday. Scoreboard brought to you by Breeze Airways. Oakland Orange County came down to the wire. RGV, a late goal. Colorado Springs dominant in their match.
Man, they're just so good in the attacking third, Colorado Springs. I want to talk about Oakland Roots, obviously a tragedy that happened to one of their players. What a way to really wrap their arms around him, get that last-minute goal, ahead goal, steal the 3 points, and obviously San Diego goes to New York, split the points. At the Tampa Bay Rowdies, FC Tulsa 1-1. A lot of talent, a lot of good games that happened earlier this week.
And in the month of June, plenty of USL Championship action on the ESPN family of networks. Deportes, Big ESPN, and ESPN2. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Toyota. You look there, Hartford, Louisville. They played a fun one last year on ESPN. And Detroit City, El Paso should be an interesting one. Detroit right now losing 1-0 to Pittsburgh.
And it's going to be just the atmosphere there. Keyworth is going to be bumping. Obviously, El Paso, don't look now. A team that's starting to get their footing in this USL Championship, but what a game that's going to be.
Early in the season, El Paso was struggling. Indy was struggling. It was looking like that breakup between Mark Lowry and El Paso was leaving both sides of it down in the dumps, but they have both turned it around in a very big way, and we'll see if Indy can keep the success going into half number 2. It's 4-1 right now. We're back with the second 45 in just a few moments for Patriots Point.
Charleston is a water town.
Being on the water is part of the lifestyle here.
Whether you're fishing or boating, you've got so many family-friendly activities.
There are so many spots to go, from beaches to the marsh. Nature is a big reason why people actually come here.
It's absolutely breathtaking.
In any season, you can find your paradise, really.
Get your ice cold Bud Light, south to hip. Get your ice cold. Oh, Bud Light, south to hip. Who needs?
So how is it?
Great.
My dad was a Cuban refugee, and school wasn't really an option for him. He'd always encourage me and my sisters. He'd say, try different things, you know? If you want to be an artist, if you want to be a painter or musician, go for it. Because I received a South Carolina Education Lottery Scholarship, I didn't have to worry about the bulk of my tuition. And that's priceless.
This Charleston Battery broadcast is brought to you by South Carolina Education Lottery. Look at those first half highlights. It was mostly on the Indy side, dominant with the first half hat trick from Arteaga.
You just see the space in the middle of the field was just too much to handle for Charleston Battery. Good vision, good pick out there from Asante. Has everyone fooled, had me fooled, that's for sure. But Pino, player that's just opportunistic. We'll see what I'm talking about in a bit. The spaces that he picks up in the dangerous position, that's all you're getting paid the big bucks to put the ball in the back of the net as he gets his 6. We're talking about effort, talking about leadership, talking about impact. Asante here, little peek over his left shoulder, just understands I have numbers in the box, I'm gonna put it into a dangerous situation, and then this is a bit slippery here from Arteaga. Has the composure to collect himself, put his head over the ball, he knows where he's going, opens up his hits and just slots it to the far post. There's nothing that Kuzemka can do to get the game going. 2-0 Indy 11, back-to-back goals right after the other. You can see the sigh of relief for that man that hasn't scored this season, but he's going to score once again. Give credit to here for Pino, talking about opportunistic, doesn't give up on the play, fights off St. Martin, and just rolls this into the path of Arteaga. This is a striker's finish right there, through and through. Clean, opens up his body, foot through the pass, hits it pure, keeps it on the ground, kisses that far post into the back of the net, gets his brace. He can't get a hat trick, can he? Well, before Charleston Battery has something to say. Delicious ball in from Sheldon, and just a snap header over his left shoulder. Williams, something that we've seen time and time, the space that he's picked up. He's been a bright spot for Charleston Battery. Talking about a hat trick, no way, can he? 1-2, once, it's a double 1-2 again between Asante. Heavy touch, quick enough to recover. He did it, Joe, he did it. Hat trick, Arteaga, first half. Makes no mistake in that 18-yard box, gets the hat trick. What a half for that man.
Take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Heineken. Look at the shots and shots on target for Indy. That's what really caught my eye as we were looking at these numbers at the break. Just so efficient tonight.
Yeah, that's crazy. Obviously, 7 shots, 7 on target. Just tells you the attacking explosion that they had in that first half. The concentration, the focus, the execution, keeping everything on target. If you're Mark Lowry, that's something you love to see. On the other hand, Charleston Battery, you have to clean it up, especially in the middle of the field. That back line, there's too many gaps popping up around the field, and Indy 11 will make you pay for it. As we've seen going forward, you have to get numbers in the box as well. Really focal point has only been Williams. We haven't seen much of Chichero. Holcomb has been a bit active on the left-hand side. Piggott needs to get on the ball a bit more, so really looking for a response here in the text 45 for Charleston Battery.
See if they have a response here coming out of the gates. Down 3, you'd figure they'd have to get at least one of those back in the first 15-minute interval of this second half to try and build upon something, make Indy feel the pressure as the half wears on, and we'll see if they can get right to that here as they attack from left to right in the yellow and black. Indy defending from right to left in the all-white. With Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us on ESPN+. Indy entered the night above the playoff line, and as it stands, they would remain there by picking up all the 3 points. Charleston at the back end of the Eastern Conference at the moment, tied on 5 points with New York Red Bulls 2. Here, that could be the early start they're looking for. Williams taps it in, but the flag comes up. Did he need to touch it? Was it going in already from Holcomb? We'll see if we could tell from one of our angles. He picks up a yellow card for kicking the ball away at the end as well. Almost a dream start to the half.
And just the way that they picked apart in the 11 with such ease. Starts on this right-hand side, little pop back from Williams. Booth, the position that he picks up, so finds Holcomb. And he is offside. He is a bit above the line of the ball. I don't know if he needs to touch it. It's hard to tell that angle. Just hits the ball at the side referee. Picks up a yellow out of frustration. But again, good early signs again from the battery. Again, it's an opportunity for Holcomb in the final third. You don't want to leave any space for question marks there. You want to have the authority just to stick that ball in the back of the net, much like Arteaga that we saw in that first half. You need to clean up in that final third.
Maybe seeing it go through the net like that, even though it didn't count, serves as a mental spark here for Charleston. And a warning sign, too, if you're Indy. Have Charleston just dice through you like that right off the kickoff. Just a reminder of, hey, look, we're up 3, but you can't throw in the towel here. You still have to play the next 45 and make sure you secure the 3 points.
And it's a test not to get complacent. If you're Mark Lowry and company, you want to keep your foot on the pedal, keep asking questions, keep getting in behind. And if you're a striker, it's a game you want to play in. Obviously, you're having a lot of success going forward. So use this game to really grow the confidence of your front line. Obviously, we see Arteaga on a hat trick. Sante maybe wants to get in on the scoring as well. So it's the test for both sides. One trying to claw their way back into this game, and the other one really not to get complacent and keep their foot on the gas as well.
Ingram moves forward to get the ball back into play. 23-year-old from Indianapolis, played with Indiana Fire Academy under the current Indy 11 sporting director. Gilwine. That foul goes against Williams. It looked like he wanted to ask what it was about, but then maybe quickly remembered he picked up that yellow card a moment ago and thought better of it. Great ball through the lines here to Pino, battling his way around St. Martin. And Kuzemka is there.
Your attention, please. Carolina Chimona, or Carolina Chimona, your cell phone and wallet are at guest services. Again, Carolina Chimona, head over to guest services over by the Battery Pavilion to claim your credit card and phone. Thank you.
Timmer. First 5 minutes of this half, no real rhythm, just back and forth through the air. Both sides, aside from that really quick chance for Charleston, look like they are still 1 foot in the locker room coming out of the gates here. Goes back to what you were saying, Ricky, just mentally in a 4-1 game, not just for the team who's leading to stay in it, but for a team who's 1-8-2 and down 4-1, probably easy for them to mentally check out, and you cannot do that because you're playing for your job, you're still trying to turn this around, there's still so much to play for.
It's just the nature of professional sports. When you step on that field, there's always a chance to showcase yourself, always playing for that next contract, that next team, the next coach, whatever, the next opportunity, whatever it may be.
Arteaga tracking it. Pino all alone in the middle. Now finally Sheldon getting back. It's a 3-on-1, and it's just too far out in front of Pino. That one developed in slow motion. It seemed like they were waiting for a whistle or a flag or something, and it just kept going.
Just a lack of defensive effort from Charleston Battery to recover. It's a bit shocking. You can see it's a 2-on-1, but give credit to St. Martin. He peeks over his shoulder, really cuts down the angle for Arteaga to play a simple pass to Pino. Has to be a perfect way to pass, perfect place pass between the defender in front of the goalkeeper, and Pino's not able to get on the end of it. And boy, tell me about opening up gaps. Far too easy again for Indy 11 to get in behind Charleston Battery.
Here's a Duro. Almost gave it away on the very slow rollback to Kilwine.
And you expect Charleston Battery to play at a higher tempo. It's far too pedestrian, not enough movement, not enough really energy coming out of the locker room. You want to move the ball extremely fast, clean in your decision making, in your passing, to fight your way back into this game 1 goal at a time. And it's a loose ball. It's a hard challenge here from Ingram. Just comes in a bit late on Andrew Booth. It's an opportunity here for Charleston Battery just to dump this ball into the box, cause a bit of chaos within the back line in front of Meredith. See what the organization is all about.
Far too easy for the Indy goalkeeper. Space for Ingram on the right. Lowry doesn't really have a hard and fast timeline of checkpoints for this team to take stock as the season goes along of where they are in terms of their growth and development and the cohesion, as again 17 new players, whole new staff from last year. Now they start clicking on all cylinders. Did mention that the 10-point marks of the season, rather the 10-game marks of the season, are good check-in spots. Asante off the outside of the post, it stays in. And it's now out for a corner. But those 10-game checkpoints are the ones they're looking for. They were happy to be above the playoff line 10 games in. They want to be closer to the top of the table 20 games in. And that sends you into your last kick of the season, knowing where you're at, what you still need to improve. And this is a heck of a way to get on track here in that middle third of the season. if you will. Tough loss against New Mexico, where luck was maybe not on their side in match number 11. Match number 12 has been all Indy. Something off the training ground that needs some more work off the training ground. They'll recycle through the left side. Ingram, a long ball. And a foul against Indy. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. I hear things got a little bit off the rails last week with Mike Watson and Devin Kerr. They started talking about coleslaw. And
I saw that on Twitter as well.
They had everything in that one. Interview with Mark Briggs and Sacramento's run and Open Cup, a side of coleslaw, and a very hard stance by both Devin and Mike, pro and anti-coleslaw.
Where do you stand?
Very, very anti-coleslaw. Must be a play-by-play thing, I guess. I don't know.
I'm try to keep a clean diet from my side, so I can't remember the last time I've had coleslaw, to be honest. You're not a very cheesy guy, though, no?
Me?
Food-wise, not.
I was about to say, you've broadcasted plenty of games with me. You know that I will go right into the cheesy joke if need be. Sub on the way here by Home Team Barbecue. Mario Piggott out, Manuel Johnson in. But no, I do enjoy plenty of cheese, Ricky.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Number 22, E.J. Johnson. Coming out, number 10, Mario Piggott.
We'll see what Johnson is able to bring to this game. Gonna slot in on that front line. Needs to get on the ball early. Bring in a bit of a spark. Player that has a lot of pace, likes to run in behind. So needs to be confident, really play himself into this game. Have a clean first touch, first pass, connect it, make sure really sound in the way that you approach this matchup here.
The Battery have a brand new look on and off the field this year thanks to Hummel, the club's newest team apparel provider. Check out the full line of new Battery gear, including the custom 2022 home, away, and alternate kits by visiting shop.charlestonbattery.com. Well read by Jerome. Leaves it for Asante. (1-0) right now at the hour mark in the other match going on. Pittsburgh at home up on Detroit. Plenty of matches around the league tonight, but not in the early window. Only these two in the 7 p.m. kickoff. The rest all 8:30 or later. But just 7 minutes from now, we'll have kickoff between FC Tulsa and Miami, Memphis and Atlanta, and RGV and LA Galaxy. That Detroit-Pittsburgh match, a lot of implications on the top few teams in the Eastern Conference coming into the day. It looked like this: Louisville in first, Memphis in second, Detroit third, Pittsburgh fourth. But a Pittsburgh win would allow them to move past Detroit and Memphis to within 1 point of Louisville. And Indy is hoping to join that party very quickly themselves. Assuming this result stands and they pick up all 3 points, it would be only a few points back of that pack. 4 back of Detroit with a game in hand, and then 6 back of Pittsburgh with a game in hand, 7 back of Louisville with a game in hand, although Memphis is 5 points up on Indy, and they have a game in hand on Indy 11.
A lot of numbers.
This is the part of the season where all aspects of the standings that are tight usually begin to see some sort of separation. Back here for Law. Timmer out for a corner. Whether it's new acquisitions, whether it's just finding more comfort in a new system, like is the case here with Indy and a new coach and so many new players, this is usually where we start to see the true contenders separate themselves just a little bit. You might still have the Pittsburghs, Louisvilles, Indies of the world all still within a couple of points of each other, but instead of only being up 3 or 4 points on the rest of the pack beneath them, all of a sudden they're up by 8, 9, 10 points from that second cut of teams. Hour gone, half hour to go. Asante with 2 assists already, swings in the corner. Ricocheted off the face of St. Martin. The volley back in. Sounded like it took a deflection, looked like it took a deflection. They all thought it took a deflection except for Chris Ruska. It'll be a goal kick. Have you started to think about how you stack the top of the Eastern Conference yet? Or still a little bit too early for you to tell where you'd like to see a couple of matches in the June 1st?
Yeah, I don't really know that top 4 or 5. There's just so much talent. Obviously, I want to see more of playing. I mean, you look at Detroit City do extremely well on the road. At home. On the road, it's maybe a different story. So I think it's a bit too early, but one thing for sure, there's no easy really out in this Eastern Conference. Great interchange again.
Aguilera, the extra pass now to Asante. They're a half second too late. Tomorrow's a big one, though, as far as parsing through the Eastern Conference. Louisville and Tampa Bay are in action.
And again, it's just a 1-2 combination. Peña's been extremely good with his body and his positioning. And Aguilera, we've seen him combination play on that goal with Asante. This time it's Arteaga, and Asante's unable to get on the end of it. And just see how fast this Indy 11 team is able to break. Just the understanding as they play 2 up top. Peña drops in a bit more. Arteaga stays high and occupies the center backs, which makes high life extremely hard for them to step in to cover a player like Aguilera. And then he's just so skillful, has the vision in tight spaces, loves to play combination play to break down defensive units. You throw in Asante on the far post for making that run. So much attacking talent and power for Mark Lowry.
Let's look at Chris Duval. Great to see him have this opportunity. Unfortunately, it comes at the expense of Connor Casey in the health and safety protocols, and we wish him a speedy recovery. All accounts that were given to us, he's doing well, he's in good spirits. He was excited to watch the team tonight and see what Chris Duval could do with the opportunity. Told us he started thinking about the possibility of coaching near the end of his career. He had a few injuries that started to pop up in the last couple of seasons, and he was in MLS. He had a few coaches who said they saw something in him and suggested that he tried coaching. They thought his personality and the way he sees the game would make him a good fit, and then he should look into it. He said he honestly wasn't considering the possibility at first, and then in hindsight, he realizes what a mistake that was, because, yeah, it really does suit him, and he's enjoying the heck out of what he's doing right now. Very thankful for the opportunity given to him by Connor Casey, who cast a very wide net in finding his assistants. Not much of a connection to a guy like Chris Duval before coming here to Charleston, but word of mouth got around. Coach Duval was looking for this type of opportunity. Connor Casey looking for young minds to shape and fill out his staff. Gave him a call, and it all worked out.
And it's just terrific for the players to really be able to pick the brain out of someone that's done it at the highest level that this country has. Such a veteran in the MLS. Just get those little experiences, the little advice goes a long way from player to coach.
Chris Duval credited Connor Casey for just being a really great guy to work with. Incredible manager, not overbearing. Gives all of his assistant coaches the freedom to run drills. Oh, look out. Misread by Kuzemka. Arteaga Sends it right into a sliding kill wide and out for a corner.
It's a bit of a misunderstanding in the back for Charleston Battery. Archiarga smells blood, continues his run, gets there before it's Kuzmenska. Give credit to Kelwine, understanding to come across. Not give any angle up for an easy pass across. Look on goal. But you love to see it from the striker for Indy 11, not to give up. Wanting to get his 4th on the night, which is crazy to say. An opportunity here for Asante, just swing this ball in.
Asante from the corner. Subs being prepared here for Charleston. Kyle Holcomb and Dominic Oduro will see their evenings come to an end. DZ Harmon will enter for Holcomb.
For your Charleston Battery. Coming out, number 8, Dominic Oduro. And in, number 17, Aiden Apodaca.
Aiden Apodaca in for Dominic Oduro.
Number 18, Kyle Holcomb. And in, number 19, DZ Harmon.
All subs brought to you by Home Team Barbecue. Very strong shift from Holcomb. And you can see it right there on the face of Chris Duval, just greeting him very warmly as he comes over. Holcomb starting to find his way here, making his 2nd start, only his 2nd appearance of the season. Was injured for quite a bit, and he looks like he's going to be a major factor in the upcoming games for Charleston. The 29th pick this year by Charlotte FC, 7th most goals in the very rich history of Wake Forest soccer.
He's really getting into good opportunities, good spacing, threatening the back line of Indy 11. Just the only thing that was lacking was that final execution. He had 2 good looks earlier in that first half when he beats Ingram on the inside, cuts in, give credit to Cochran, closes down the angle extremely fast. Then he doesn't get it clean on the 2nd half. Williams involves, he's called for offside. But good shift there from Holcomb. And like you said, Joe, one to look out for Charleston Battery, as they're going to put in a lot of faith in that man.
Sagero from the corner, headed goalward, and then cleared away by Timmer. The whistle goes against Augie Williams for his attempt at a bicycle kick.
And it's a good ball in from Chichero, that back post. Very courageous there from Augie Williams. Doesn't have a lot of space, but elects to go for the top 10, Sports Center top 10. He knows it's a high boot, very dangerous play as Pino gets there before him. We'll see what these substitutes can bring for the Charleston Battery. DZ Harmon, a player that likes to get in behind. We've seen him throughout the years in the Charleston Battery organization growing. And Apodaca, obviously 2 goals on the year.
Given away by Kuzemka. Arteaga slots it through, it's deflected, and Pino unable to regather, out for a goal kick. Kuzemka starting to struggle a little bit. A few moments ago when he came out and misread the play. That giveaway through the middle. His first start of the season. In for Joe Kuzmenski, who, again, as crazy as it sounds, scored Charleston's lone goal last week. Over the top for Asante. It's very quick. He'll hustle everything, but he won't be able to keep that one in. A little bit too far out in front. And Nicky Law was very upset with the way that attack was handled. Screaming for it at the bottom of your screen, and that's the leader right there. That Nicky Law is, the 34-year-old who spent 15 years playing abroad in England before finally making his way here to Indy. It's 4-1, but he knows that every minute counts for them as they try to go ahead and improve. Looking further and further up the table. Harmon, good early ball in, knocked away by Meredith. Williams thought he had another one. The flag also did come up.
You just see the threat that DZ Harmon has, the vision. nicely shaped and placed ball, but give credit to Meredith. He sees it all the way, comes out extremely courageous, brave, secure goalkeeping there from the Indy 11 goalkeeper. I mean, you'd love to see it as DZ Harmon is getting into the attack, into the final third. Yeah, it's a hard challenge there from Martiaga. Catches Chichero.
And he picks up the yellow to go with his 3 goals. Yellow card brought to you by Spinks. Elsewhere, Detroit equalized against Pittsburgh with 20 minutes to go.
Yellow card in the 71st minute issued to Indy 11's number 9, Manuel.
Just comes in through the back. Second look, doesn't look like there's much in that. Doesn't agree with it, but needs to be extremely careful now not to get into off the ball nonsense as this game is going on. 20 minutes plus left here.
The MUSC Health Sports Medicine team is the official medical providers for the Charleston Battery. You can trust their team to help you get back in the game.
Weber.
The Charleston Battery do.
Williams lost his footing, still managed to get a touch on it. And Booth volley goes wide. Johnson for Williams. Off the head of Apodaca. Law for Arteaga. Back for Law. Rodney Michael getting ready to check in for Indy. Aguilera cuts in. Well defended by Sheldon.
He's had a good game, this right back for Charleston Battery. Has the assist on Williams' goal, as well in his defensive positioning. Hasn't get caught out of position, you can see there. Just a slide across. We pick the pocket of Aguilera.
Michael in, Asante out. They're looking to build him back up to 90-minute fitness. You want him to be able to go 90, but if he gives you the shift he did, all he needs is 30 minutes. He had 2 assists and created a 3rd goal, all in the first half an hour. But working back up to full match fitness. Came in as a sub for a brief cameo, then a sub for about a half an hour. Now starts for nearly 75 minutes. And before you know it, he will be wreaking havoc on opposing defenses for a full 90.
It's really smart in the approach that Indy 11 is taking with Asante. Don't want to give him too much on his plate to eat just yet. You don't want a silly injury for a player that is so explosive, so quick like he is. Obviously getting up there in age, but a really good shift, 72 minutes in. Obviously, like you said, came off the bench last time. This time he starts and rewards that start with 2 assists, has his fingerprints pretty much in all the goals here. Something to keep an eye on as Indy 11 starting to get their rhythm after a performance like this, and what Asante can say as the rest of the season goes on.
Rodney Michael, who enters for him on loan from South Georgia Tormenta. Undrafted in 2021, picked up by the Riverhounds as a trialist. And then went to USL 2 with Tormenta 2 before they signed him to their first team in USL League 1. Well, Careless playing it around the back from Indy.
Yeah, it's a tough challenge there. He's going to see yellow.
will be the last action Sachero sees. Picks up the yellow, leaves. Don't forget the penny. Chevelle Perez, now properly clad in the yellow and black instead of the blue that he run onto the field with.
Trying to make a fashion statement there. I really do like the look as you drop in Sachero back into that, really that hole in that midfield. Has a physical presence. You can see moments ago the aerial presence that he brings as well. Security on the ball on that left foot. So something to maybe just testing the waters again. Putting Sachero back in. He's really the dictator in that middle of the field for the Charleston Battery. Good shift from that man. We'll see what Perez brings in his last 15 minutes plus here.
Timmer on the ground. Not a bad ball in. Just under a quarter of an hour remaining with Ricky Lopez Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have had you with us all evening long on ESPN+. Indy and Charleston with a score that has remained unchanged since the start of the second half. Just an onslaught from Indy that began in the 21st minute. They scored 3 in 7 minutes. Charleston pulled one back in the 35th, and then just 2 minutes after that, Indy restored the 3-goal advantage. Charleston trying to find a way back in this season. They started with a win against Tulsa. Since then, 2 draws and what's going to be 9 losses. And as they try to find a way back, there just seems to be something in the way, and it's just not clicking with them. Sheldon. Still toying with Timmer. Booth for Apodaca, just wide.
Good relationship between Booth and Apodaca. Picks up the second ball, does extremely well with it. Puts it in the path, takes a tremendous amount of technique there from Apodaca, and he doesn't miss by much. And thinking if he has a peek over his shoulder, he's able to have a second touch on that one, get a better angle. A player that has a lot of talent, that has that in his locker to hit that first time, but you want to put it on target. But nonetheless, good opportunity there from the substitute. You just see as the subs come on, the second balls are just so much important as you have DC Harmon pushing up next to Williams as its striking pair. You have Johnson a bit on the left side. Just the effort has been a bit different from those players coming on, making life extremely hard for Indy 11 to have any success playing out of the back. So a bit of a positive for Connor Casey and Cristobal.
Law earns the corner. The Desante Outlaw will handle the corner. Dropped in, top of the 6. And Kazemka is there to field it. Mark Lowry talked about where this team is, some of the things that still need improving. They're a long way from reaching nirvana. They're maybe a couple of years away from winning at the clip that they really want to win games at, but they're still finding success now. Williams has it blocked out for a corner, but on a night like this, if you're Mark Lowry, sometimes you just have to be happy. I mean, going back to this performance, what is he going to pick out and be unhappy with? Maybe they were a bit complacent coming out of the half, and Charleston could have had a goal just seconds in that was disallowed for an offside. Outside of that, there weren't many moments where they looked like they were hurting in this one.
And it's always good when you pick up points on the road, especially to come into this hostile environment. Charleston Battery team that is struggling, but nonetheless, it is hard when you have to deal with travel, sleeping in hotel rooms, don't have your home routine as players to come in and walk away with, looks like 3 points, and the explosion of the first half that you have. You're going to be a bit picky on that goal. Williams found time and time again a bit of too much of a gap between Jerome and Cochran in that back line. But other than that, I think this whole 11 formation game plan has been perfection for Mark Lowry coming on the road here.
USL schedule makers took summer vacation a little bit too seriously when it came to crafting Indy's June schedule. All 4 of their June matches on the road, and they're going to start with 3 points. It's a lot tougher from here in terms of the names on that paper. Miami, Colorado Springs, and San Diego all on the road. Driving through DZ Harmon, and he pushes it wide. It'll be, I'm still thinking about it, a goal kick.
But again, it just comes from a miscommunication, misunderstanding in that back line. Cochran doesn't know if he's coming. Timmer doesn't know where he's going. DZ Harmon sees the C part, has the whereabouts, so vertical in his running, just take it on upon himself, and he has a peek over his left shoulder. Jeff Johnson coming with you, so roll that in. It's an easy tap-in goal for the substitute. It's going to be a bit frustration. Doesn't get a better end result in that play for Charleston Battery.
Alluded to it a bit earlier as far as this road trip goes. Mark Lowry was honest. You'll find coaches who will time and time again say, well, if we have 4 games, we want 12 points. We want to win every game. But he was very blunt with us. We'd be content with 6 points from this 4-game road trip is what he said. 2 wins out of these 4. Said if we come away with 7, I know that's only 1 more point, so it's not a huge difference, but he'd go from pleased to extremely happy because it means they only lost 1 match in the road trip. But realistically, said if we get through these 4 games at least 6 points, it means we're continuing to tick along and improve while maintaining our status in the standings, as this one falls for Williams. And it somehow stays in for a moment, and now it's out for a corner kick. Williams slow to get up after that challenge by Cochran.
And he's just so good in finding those spots between players in the back line. This time it's between Timmer and Cochran. His first touch lets him down. He's unable to have a clean shot, but just little things like that for Charleston Battery. You have a better first touch, you have a shot on goal. You fancy yourself from that distance inside that 18-yard box to put this ball on target, find the back of the net. It's a different game if you're just a bit cleaner in the attacking third for Charleston Battery.
Still have a chance here with all those numbers forward after the corner. Perez, give and go, finds it again in front, tap in Williams. But for the 2nd time tonight, he has disallowed a goal because of an offside flag. He has won the lone goal for the team. He could have a hat trick if you count the goals that were taken away.
Something that's been lacking for Charleston Battery is combination play. Simple 1-2 touch. And at first glance, it does look like he's a bit too eager to get on the better half of Ingram there. Williams, you don't have the luxury of VAR here in USL Championship. The disbelief of that man. The bright spot has been just his movement. Again, getting in dangerous situations, getting in dangerous opportunities. It's another one just waiting to walk in with his penny on. Fashionistas out here, huh?
Palmer All will be the one subbing in for Stefano Pino. All subs brought to you by Home Team Barbecue. trying to sort it out. Now making his way over for the change. All the scoring this evening began with that man in the 21st minute. The newest and nicest airline to take the skies is proud to call Charleston home and support the Battery. Check out Breeze Airways today for an accessible and genuinely nice experience for everyone, with flights to over 20 destinations across the U.S. nonstop from Charleston International Airport, while offering low fares and flexible booking on their point-to-point network. That's Breeze Airways. That's seriously nice. If Indy goes ahead and picks up another victory at least during this road trip, it would put them in a very good spot in the Eastern Conference as we near the halfway point of the season. If you gave Mark Lowry his choice of the remaining 3 games on the road trip, which one he'd like to win, without a doubt, he'd say the Miami game coming up, because that's not only a chance to win, but that's a 6-point swing against a team competing directly with you in the conference. If you could beat Colorado Springs or San Diego, great. It's not going to mean much below you or around you in the standings because it's a Western Conference team. But if you beat Miami, that's a big swing, driven in the front and cleared away.
And you have to think, just the urgency, again, it's a misplay in the back. But you have to think just the urgency that the Charleston Battery side is showing in this last 10 minutes. If they start the game with this, if they start...
Here's Booth. Flag stays down, drops it back for Harmon. The night in a nutshell for Charleston. Close, no cigar.
It's a good pick out here from Weber, who has the ability to hit a ball on a rope over distance. Good understanding. As there's a gap, I'm gonna push up with Andrew Booth. Just rolls into the back of DZ Harmon, and he needs to do better with that. It's a hard technique just to bend that to that far post. Higher percentage shot, so just get your hips around it, your head down, try to bend it to the near one. There's gonna be frustration, disappointment. A player that quality is gonna want this one back. Going back to my point, Joe, I think if Charleston Battery really start playing with the urgency that they've shown in the last 10, 15 minutes, it's a completely different squad. You can see the success that they're having, getting in behind, players running off, a lot of movement, pulling players out of positioning, opening up gaps, combination play, something we didn't see for the most of this game. It is something to look forward to, something to build on for this organization, as they have the talent, they have the experienced players that know how to win in this league, to be successful in this league. It's just a matter of the mentality and putting it all together.
To be fair to Charleston, sure, it's lopsided on the scoreboard as they look to pull one more back here, and they do. What a strike from the left side. E.J. Johnson makes it 4-2.
And you love to see it from the substitute. Ball comes out to this left-hand side, has one thing on his mind. Takes Ingram from a little bit of a dance, just gets it out of his feet, puts his head down, laces through it. Near post of Meredith. And if you have the goalkeeper, there'd be frustration. He doesn't get that save there. The Charleston Battery won't ask any questions. They'll take it as they cut this lead in half.
First of the season, well, brought to you by Diamonds Direct. I was just getting ready to say that maybe statistically, this performance, not what the scoreboard really indicates. Expected goals, 1.73 for Indy, 1.62 for Charleston. Chance to get it right back for Indy, it's over the bar. So with some of the poor luck they've had with the offside flag popping up by a couple of inches, and on the Indy side, with them just being as clinical as they were in the first half, a aside from that bad 5-minute stretch where they gave up the 3 goals all at once, this Charleston team has been right there all night, and the stats will back that up.
It just goes back to the point, obviously, the want to fight into this game, to keep playing yourself into this game, because they've shown they have the quality. It's just mentally upstairs. Like you said, you can't let in 3 goals in a 10-minute, 5-minute span, whatever it may be. Those are the little things that really separate a team from being great, a team from being good. And they have the quality, they have the ability, they have the talent. It's just a mentality shift. You see that they're stringing together passes, running off players. They've been the better half, the better team for the latter part in the second half, no doubt about it. And how can they put it, instead of a 15-minute little spell in a game, can you just start it with a half? A half turns into 90 minutes. 90 minutes turns into 3 points. 3 points turns into climbing up the table. It's a trickle effect.
4 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by MUSC Health. And they felt there were positives to take away from the Loudon tie last game. There's certainly positives to take from here. Can they add to it? That's out for a corner. 2 goals on the board. 2 from Augie Williams that were called off for offside by mere inches. A handful of opportunities to go with that. This goes back to what Chris Duval was saying about not just creating the chances, but actually finishing them now. That's what's going to be the difference between this team making some sort of push or fading away. Corner lifted in and slapped away by Meredith. We'll retake it from the other side. Ball takes a deflection, loose in front. Williams, this one's not done. We've got 2 minutes. It's a 1-goal game.
And you love to see it from the boys in black and yellow. Williams has been asking all sorts of questions all night. Like you said, got pulled back for 2 goals, but not this one. Ball falls extremely nice. He's able to gather himself, put his head over the ball. And there's nothing that Meredith can do. Just too close, too clean of a hit there from Williams. Well-deserved brace on the night for that man right there. Adds his 4-3 for a couple of minutes left. See if Charleston Battery can find that equalizing goal.
Can they sub in Joe Kuzmenski? Unavailable tonight, I kid. Goal brought to you by Diamonds Direct. At the very least, what they've done tonight, after going down 4-1 in the first half, is produce a second half that should give them more to build on going into next week. They didn't fade away, they didn't give up, they battled back here, and they're right in this game with 2 minutes to go. Will it be too little too late? We'll see over the next 60 or so seconds. We'll see what Chris Ruska might add for the goal celebration, for what's going on right now, as far as when he exactly blows that whistle.
But it just goes back to what the point I just made. This last 15, 20 minutes, Charleston has been all over them in the attacking half. Really good style of football for the boys in black and yellow. But especially in this league, 15 minutes is not going to cut it. You need to turn that performance of 15 minutes into a half into a full 90 minutes performance. That's how you're going to start just raising a couple eyebrows around this league, climbing up that Eastern Conference table.
Preston Kilwine picked up a Spinks yellow card in the aftermath.
Yellow card in extra time issued to Charleston Batteries number 23, Preston Kilwine. Yellow card brought to you by Spinks.
Is there one last chance here for Charleston? Fighting through DZ Harmon into the area, and it's off his chest and out for a goal kick. Change coming for Indy as they try to take some more precious time off the clock. Decrease Revelorio on for a brief cameo. Nicky Law taking his time getting off.
Number 27, Nicky Law. Coming in, number 37, Decrease Revelorio.
And we've talked about Charleston Battery showing the fight to play themselves back into this game. You have to take a hard look at Indy 11. Had the 3 points in the bag, both hands on the steering wheel. Never wanted to get to this moment as you're nervous. You're up 4-1. You have the experience to see this game out, walk away with the 3 points. Now you start to sweat a little bit. Charleston Battery starts to get the confidence within the game. So it's a good learning curve for Mark Lowery.
The raging comeback from Charleston falls just short. Indy holds on to all 3 points. A lot tighter in the end than it seemed it might be. A 4-3 victory for the visitors at Patriots Point.
Just better over the course of 90 minutes in the 11. The Charleston Battery a bit too late to really put your foot on the gas and put this thing in the 4th gear. But nonetheless, something to show, a fight for this organization to not give up. In the 11, just a bit better inside that 18-yard box. You see Arteaga's going to steal the headlines with the first half trick. Terrific to see him going. It's a lot to build on for Charleston Battery as you're using this performance again to keep having those building blocks as you're trying to climb up the table. But give credit to Mark and Indy 11 to come in here with a game plan and really put this game to bed in that first half.
Final score brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing, and we're back in just a moment to wrap this one up.
You need more layers, diagonal layers.
I got it, Ron. Thanks.
Leave him alone, Dad. Oh, honey, you should use ice blocks instead of cubes.
No, Bud Light Seltzer goes on top.
Diagonal layers.
Did you pre-chill the Bud Light lemonades?
Need more ice.
And diagonal layers.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't need my hands getting cold.
Why don't you try using the Plumsky method?
Brings out the citrus notes.
Dad?
Gotta crush the ice, son.
Okay, I'm out.
What's his problem?
Whenever packing the cooler really matters, there's a Bud Light there.
Charleston is a water town.
Being on the water is part of the lifestyle here. Whether you're fishing or boating, you've got so many family-friendly activities.
There are so many spots to go, from beaches to the marsh. Nature is a big reason why people actually come here.
It's absolutely breathtaking.
In any season, you can find your paradise, really.
All 3 points tonight go to Indy 11 with a 4-3 victory over the Charleston Battery. We'll take a look at the full-time highlight. Charleston made it tight at the end. It was 4-1 for the longest time, but it did not go away easily, Ricky.
And you love to see just the fight. Connor Casey, Cristobal, and the boys not to give up, the never-ending attitude. But in the end, just far too easy to break down their defensive unit, especially in that first half. Good pickup from Asante to see Pino running in off his left shoulder and just place that ball into the path of him. One of the easier finishes you'll see for the striker, number 29, to get his 6th on the year. And you thought it was going to be all rain, sunshine, and rainbows there for Indy 11. You thought exactly that. Talk about effort, talk about leadership, leading by example, just to put this ball in dangerous areas, get on the end of it, and then Arteaga saying, go to work, may I have this, Dan St. Martin. Pinnacle finish, striker's finish, all of the above, and we're going to see a lot more of that, man, as these highlights go on. They're just so good in tight spaces, good body control, balance, all of the above. The killer in that 18-yard box, no celebration needed. Sigh of relief to get his first name goal on the year. And then again, it's just opportunistic, not giving up on the play. Pino St. Martin doesn't read it extremely well. Very unselfish, just to roll this ball into the path of his strike partner. And then this is one of my favorite goals for Arteaga. Takes a lot of technique, makes it look a lot easier. You see time and time again, Players just lean back, trying to put their laces through that ball, rise it over the crossbar, but he makes no mistake. This is a well-taken ball. Starts with this left back, comes to the right back, Sheldon. Delicious ball in, asking all for Williams just to get his head on it, get on the end of it. No power needed, just a bit of a dig disc. Put that ball into the far post. And then again, it's a 1-2 punch between Aguilera, Asante, Arteaga. We know the story. Hat trick in that first half. Player of the week, question mark? Team of the week, question mark? And it's 4-1 going into the half. The Charleston Battery, they had to say, as a couple substitutions came into the game, had some energy. This is a great take here from Johnson. Cuts in on the left-hand side, laces down, head over the ball. Powerful strike near post. Meredith is going to be a bit frustrated to get that ball in. And then Williams, again, gets his brace. Just a movement you can see. Starts around that penalty area, gets away from his defender, his mark, and just falls nicely to him, able to really slow down the game, have a composed finish. And that's how this game ends.
They stormed back at the end. They gave it a run. Look at that, 16 shots, 6 on target, most of the possession. There's a lot to be happy about tonight for Charleston, but they fall just short.
Yeah, it's a lot to be happy about, especially in that second half. The question mark does, if you're able to have that 15-minute performance turned into a 90-minute performance, where will you be in the table? You have the quality, you have the talent, we saw it. You just need to keep that going and keep building as the season progresses from Mark Larvely. It's a great win on the road. Very hard thing to do, especially in this league, to steal points on the road. You walk away with 3 points, something to keep build on, especially in this hard month that you have. So really well done to see Arteaga get a hat trick and also play for as the season of 2022 keeps trucking along.
Well, that does it for us tonight from Patriots Point. These teams met for the first time since 2019, and it was Indy emerging victorious. The first half hat trick from Arteaga gets the job done, and all 3 points for an Indy team climbing the Eastern Conference table. For my broadcast partner, Ricky Lopez-Espin, and the crew that makes this all possible, I'm Joe Malva saying good night from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Charleston falls just short despite the comeback, and Indy takes all 3 points.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.